Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
This is the Closing Bell on the Stock Movers Report. The companies making moves at the close of U.S. trading with Carol Massar, Tim Stenovec, Romaine Bostick, and Scarlett Fu.
All right, let's get to some of the individual gainers, if I may, in today's session. And I'm going to go to Old Dominion Freight Line, because this one up as much as just shy of 6% at its highs today, but finishing with a gain of about 3.2%. We did see it among the top gainers in the S&P 500, the NASDAQ 100 today. BMO Capital Markets raising the recommendation on the trucking company to outperform from market perform, saying the company is set to, quote, deliver upside when the freight cycle turns. They did, though, lower their price target to 170 from 172, so just a slight adjustment there. Still implying about a 26% increase from Friday's close before this call. Stock is still down roughly 19% year to date. Got to talk about Synopsys, right? Certainly a name that is your top gainer in both the S&P 500, the NASDAQ 100, finishing the day just shy of a 5% gain. Nvidia investing $2 billion in Synopsys as part of a broader engineering and design tie-up, according to the company, aiming to infuse its AI computing technology into more industries. So this new partnership involving integrating NVIDIA's tools into Synopsys' chip design applications, and the companies will deploy AI agents and work on joint marketing. So that circular financing or just circular deals, it seems, maybe not necessarily this one, because I don't think that Synopsys has to buy NVIDIA chips, but nonetheless, it gets, not yet, right? It gets a little bit cozier. All right, DoorDash, got to mention real quick, 3.6%. It was a top gainer in the NASDAQ 100. This after Alfred Lin, a managing partner of Sequoia Capital Operations, the second largest investor in the delivery company, boosted his stake in the firm, according to a filing on Friday. And Leggett Platt, I have to just mention, Leggett and Platt. I know.
That's what you chose?
Up 16% in today's session. I thought that you would like that. I was assuming you might annoy me later.
What do they do?
What do they do? They're a betting company.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, they make. Well, actually, they're a supplier to a betting company. So Somni Group International proposed to buy one of its biggest suppliers, that being Leggett and Platt, and it's an all-stock transaction. So yeah, I'm done.
Bedding. Bedding, not betting.
Bedding.
Bedding, not like betting.
Not like betting, like gambling.
Okay, just making sure.
You kind of took the wind out of my sails. I really thought you were going to like that one, Romaine.
She does it for you, Romaine.
Somni Group, Tempur Sealy, Mattress Firm, Dreams, betting businesses.
Romaine's not saying anything, so I'm going to go. The worst performer in the S&P 500 today.
Just a little wounded.
Moderna, down 7%. Shares of vaccine makers fell after Vinay Prasad, a top FDA official, said in a memo that the agency would place new restrictions on which vaccines hit the market. The decision has the potential to curtail which vaccines are available, and medical groups and public health experts have slammed the moves to limit vaccine access, saying they could put millions of lives at risk. Once again, Moderna down 7% today. MicroStrategy, or Strategy rather, as it's now called, MSTR is the ticker, fell only 3.3% today. And I say only because it was down as much as 12%. We saw a little buying late in the session, watching shares of the company on a day when we saw heavy selling of Bitcoin. Strategy did come out and create a $1.4 billion reserve to fund future dividend and interest payments, which will cover at least 21 months of dividend payments. Remember, this is originally a software company, and the software business doesn't generate enough free cash flow to cover the dividend or interest payments, and Bitcoin doesn't pay a dividend. So the question is, where would that money come from? The company's shares slumped due to concern that it may be forced to sell some of its Bitcoin holdings if token prices continue to fall. And finally, looking at ADRs of Airbus today, the plane maker based in Europe, down 3.2%. The company did reveal a quality issue on some fuselage panels of its A320 jetliner just days after flagging a software glitch on about 6,000 of the jets. This is the workhorse. This is the moneymaker. It's the competitor to the 737. George Ferguson over at Bloomberg Intelligence told us that the company could have a problem meeting earnings goals as a result of these challenges, but doesn't think that anyone's going to actually get out of the line, which extends just around a decade to actually get one of these A320s. So it doesn't see long-term impact.
Let's check in on treasuries because we did see the entire yield curve shift higher on this Monday afternoon. It was largely a function, first of all, of that sell-off that we saw in Japanese debt because of concerns about inflation that then sort of fed into the U.S. because of concerns about Trump's rumored pick to lead the Fed. That raised concerns about inflation, and you saw those yields move higher. Also, don't forget, you got a huge deluge of corporate borrowing that's crowding out some of the money that would normally potentially have gone into treasuries.
The Stock Movers Report from Bloomberg Radio. Check back with us throughout the day for the latest roundup of companies making news on Wall Street. And for the latest market-moving headlines, listen to Bloomberg Radio live. Catch us on YouTube, Bloomberg.com, and on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto with the Bloomberg Business app.